back of the rim. Got it! Oh, the slam! Oh, using Curry way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry!
I got a snapshot of the Eastern Conference playoff standings last night, which have already changed a little bit. However, at the time, I looked and went, these playoff series are pretty perfect from top to bottom if it were to hold, which is unlikely, but not impossible. Anyways, I had been planning on making this video for a long time regardless, and talking about the top playoff series I would like to see happen here in a couple of months. This does not cover the NBA Finals, just everything that could happen before. Meanwhile, you could be making money off of sports through DraftKings. With the season heating up and the stakes even higher, my partners at DraftKings have a brand new way to play daily fantasy sports and make things even more exciting. With the new DraftKings Pick 6, all new customers get $50 in Pick 6 credits after you play just $5 in your first pick set. You can get in on the action now, and getting started is super simple. Just download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and sign up using my promo code DOM2K. Then select 2 to 6 NBA players and choose if they're gonna have more or less of a stat. Track your lineup and compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and sign up using my promo code DOM2K. New customers can get $50 in Pick 6 credits when they play just $5. That's code DOM2K only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Receiving Miami and Boston in the first round would be absolutely hilarious, and yeah, I'm here for it. This is a team that the Celtics have had to deal with since 2020. More often than not, they are coming out on the losing side, including last year where they very nearly pulled off a 3-0 comeback only to fall short at the end. Especially this season where I think, at least roster-wise, it is the greatest chance the Celtics have had to win a title in quite some time. The Miami Heat are a demon they need to conquer. And the fact that it would be the added pressure of them being an 8th seed, 8-1 upsets rarely ever happen. They'd be coming from the play-in at that point. Hell, they were 8th seed last year. However, this time it happens in the first round. That's just a lot of pressure on a Celtics team that has shown so much improvement this season. I told y'all in the Miami Heat video I made probably back in December. Don't care what seed Miami is, they are always liable to perform some magic tricks and make some type of run. Doesn't mean I think they can win a championship. It just means I believe they have black magic. Yeah, if you've been paying any attention to the NBA, even for 2 years now, you know an 8-1 first round Heat Celtics matchup would be a lot of fun. Right now, we've got a decent chance of Milwaukee and Indiana happening in the first round, and yes, 1,000 times. This is a Bucks team that has run into many struggles. Once again, we are in the big 2024 asking, will Chris Middleton be healthy? They have not only changed coaches mid-season when they were the 2nd seed, they hired Doc Rivers. This is a decision which has spawned many headlines in probably the last 2 or 3 weeks. Damian Lillard, while good, has still, in my opinion, not been Portland Dame for most of this season. And the whole thing with him and Giannis, well, Giannis screening for him did not happen to the tune we thought it was going to happen. It's a lot of Brook Lopez screens. You come to find out it's really not just Giannis's game, not his preferred game. Okay, that's just the Milwaukee Bucks basketball though. Between them and Indiana, they simply don't like each other. Of course, you've got the ball incident from earlier in the season. They've played 5 times this season because of the in-season tournament where Indiana won. And yeah, the Pacers have actually come out on top in 4 of the 5 meetings. So it's one of those scenarios where you've got a higher seed in what hypothetically should be a better team, yet the other squad has been beating them routinely. This is not the point where I just say the lower seeded team would automatically win. I've lived through a lot of years where a decent team was beating a supposed to be contending team all season, and then the playoffs were a totally different script. However, you've got a lot going on here with the coaching change and the health. Just so much to figure out. I feel like this has potential to be a great series. I would love to see it play out. Tyrese Halliburton would be getting his first taste of playoff basketball against the Milwaukee Bucks, with at least a chance to advance to the 2nd round. I just think this would overall be very good for Eastern Conference playoff basketball. I would say, yeah, sign me up for the New York Knicks and 76ers. I am, at this point, only assuming we are going to get Joel Embiid back at some point. I don't think, given his injury history, Philly's just gonna mail in a postseason run, especially with the trades they've made. So yeah, this is a cool first round. For the topic of this video though, in series I want to see, give me Celtics Knicks. Healthy, please. Get OG Anunoby back, Julius Randle. Post trade, this is a squad that was doing very good. Knicks and Celtics has some history to it, and it would just be a very fun second round given where the two franchises are at. This is probably the most exciting time in New York Knicks basketball since the Carmelo Anthony era. You put that against the Celtics team, which is desperate to finally get it done. I think there's potential there. I also very much prefer that to another Celtics Sixers second round. I'm tired of seeing Boston beat Joel Embiid. It's just part of the script now. For that reason, I am hoping this 1-4 second round holds. And as far as preferred series in this video, that's about what I would say for the Eastern Conference. As I'm scrolling away from the standings here, I will say this is where we absolutely need some common sense added to the play-in. The Hawks are essentially a whole 7 games behind both the Magic and the Heat and are still able to potentially pick one of them off when the time comes and steal their spot for the playoffs. There just has to be an amount of games where the play-in actually triggers. There's no reason for that. And I'm a huge fan of the play-in. I have been a fan of the play-in. Anyways, different topic. For the Western Conference, I am going to save one of the series I had in my head for the honorable mentions just because it looks impossible that we would get it anywhere outside of a play-in, which is not a series. So aside from that, yes, give me the Clippers and Thunder. That is very possible. Clippers at this moment occupying the 4th seed, Thunder with a great chance to end as first. They are tied with Minnesota. It's shocking to me more people hadn't been bringing this up. We get Clippers Thunder how many years after the trade? This is about 4 or 5 years. You've seen that graphic posted nonstop about what the Clippers gave up for Paul George and the results they hadn't gotten. Now you've got OKC outpacing them for a lot of the season. Of course, Clippers did make a trade. I think their record is a bit worse than it would have been if they had a whole season. Still, OKC is this young team with a lot to prove. The Clippers have been at this forever, throwing everything at the wall, trying to get over that hump. Finally healthy right now. They would get to duke it out, and they are both very much trying to get out of the Western Conference. Neither one of these teams think that they couldn't. Oh, buddy, OKC and the Clippers is fun from a basketball standpoint, fun from a story standpoint, figures a lot out in the West, affects at least one of these franchises going forward, and hey, maybe a part of a finals run when it's all said and done. I would love it. It would have to take place in the second round. After both squads play interesting first round series, one of those would be happening right now, and a lot of this involves the Clippers. I'm just going to tell you, and with them being in the 4th seed, I don't care if it's the Kings or the Suns. Give me either one of those in the first round. Sacramento is off of their first year trying to prove they are more than just a stagnant team. They can actually get out of the first round. Just overall exciting to watch. Kawhi Leonard has posted some ridiculous numbers against this Kings team over the season. I wanted Sacramento and Golden State in 2023, very much delivered. I think this one would deliver. As just mentioned though, Phoenix is tied with them. It could end up being Clippers Suns in the first round. I almost don't like it just for a first round series that very much gives the feeling of a series belonging in later rounds. Whatever though. In that scenario, you get Big 3 versus Big 3, Westbrook and Durant in a playoff series, which basketball-wise isn't a whole lot these days. It's a feature reserved more for the story. Just like OKC and the Clippers, though, this is two teams which believe they can make far runs regardless of where they're seated. At this point, we are almost guaranteed a fun first round from that 4 seed regardless. You look at the Pelicans are also tied here. They're in the play-in. It's not necessarily one I prefer. It'll still be fun though. My preference very much lies with Kings and the Suns. Whoever ends up on top. With potential first rounds here, give me Dallas and OKC. Also very realistic. The Mavs could end up having to play their way in. The math could work out to where they are an 8th seed. All of a sudden, you've got 2 top-tier MVP candidates going against each other. 2 of the young, brighter stars on the playoff stage. And this is Dallas post-trade. It made some improvements. It's Luka in the playoffs. I think it's very clear the Mavs' recent moves over the last year or so have been trying to prove to Luka they can contend long-term, they can compete long-term. So regardless of the record right now, which is good, it's 33 and 24. I'm saying really regardless of the seeding, they'd be playing better basketball than an A seed. It would be a massive challenge for an OKC team in their first postseason run. Yes, give me this one 100 times. So much potential in this Western Conference. I'm greedy. Give me Minnesota and Denver in round 2. If the math works out to where the Nuggets are a 4th seed, It'd be a rematch of the first round last year where Minnesota did give the Nuggets the biggest fight of anyone. You will hear from a lot of Denver fans. The basketball the Timberwolves are playing this season is not surprising to them because of what they displayed, the potential they displayed there. Now they would have a full season of health and gelling around them. They are a much better defensive team. Ant has taken the step we thought he was going to take. I do think the Nuggets would still win it. It would just be fun to see a young team trying to get over the hurdle and probably doing even better than they did last season. Denver's record and seeding and placement to me though is totally irrelevant. Wherever they are, I do think this is the best team in the Western Conference. Speaking of Denver, how about a rematch with Phoenix, this time in the first round? That is where it stands today. A lot of movement can happen. It could also just end up this way. Different roster. Hopefully a healthy Phoenix. Maybe Bradley Beal actually plays the whole series. I think Denver wins just for rematch purposes, and seeing Jokic and KD in another series, I'm cool with that. And I think it's very much implied I would like to see Denver and the Clippers in the final round. We came into this year, I said I was gonna have to see LA prove it to me. So far they have, just in terms of health. They are desperate to make a healthy run, have traded for James Harden. You put all of that against the defending champions, I think it has hella potential for a conference final series. That would also be a 3-4 matchup. For the moment, these are two teams who very much may end up 1 and 2 by the time it's all said and done. The honorable mention series I had, which it's only an honorable mentions because it really can't happen, would have been the Suns and Mavs. With the trades Dallas has made, with the trades the Suns have made over the last year, you get KD and Kyrie in the series. It's just oh so unlikely. You are looking at two teams who are 6 and 8 today, and also splitting hairs for which one of them is going to be in the play-in. Given the games behind the top 4 teams, neither of them will end up as a top 4 seed. That means they would both have to probably pull off a couple of upsets for this to even happen. So if there is Suns and Mavs playoff basketball, it will really be play-in basketball, which I guess I'm also okay with. However, I would like to see both of them make the playoffs in general. So yeah, it's not happening this year. Unfortunate. Yet we are very fortunate for what we will experience in another 2 months or so. There's a lot of great young teams. There's some older teams I really didn't mention, which could potentially make things interesting, although there will be no Steph or LeBron championship runs this year. I am unconvinced they can turn around and do something that drastic this time. The basketball will be fun though. It pushes the league forward when we have young teams really breaking through, and then some older teams such as the Clippers trying to get the job done. There's just so much potential here. Basketball in the 2020s has been a lot of fun. Let me know which playoff series you are most interested in seeing and why. Also hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications every time a new video drops. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.